Dun 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 dun. All right, guys, I am here. Let's talk about episode 5 of Ahsoka. I wanted to get a new thumbnail in with a image from today's episode. Not a super spoilerly image, but an image nonetheless. What do you guys think? So what do you think? We'll see. Yeah, it's corny, but sometimes you need corn to have a tasty meal. This is outrageous. This is unfair. How could they bring back the retcon room and not retcon? I was so wrong about Rex. I don't need the headphones. Dude, I literally screamed when I saw the Siege of Mandalore. Throughout all the Clone Wars, she always wielded them backwards and barely held them regularly when she only had one lightsaber. Amazing episode. Interesting. Interesting that my chat looks like this. How's everything with the stream? Does it look good? All right. There she is. I accidentally moved this. Here we go. I want to move this. We have, after being baptized in the seas of Cetos, her arc has started. And now, what's next? Okay. So, the second half of the episode, once Ahsoka was awake, and they did everything with Jason and the whales and whatnot, I thought that was really well done. Seeing this more, optimistic Ahsoka after going on a little bit of this arc. And then she's wearing the Ahsoka, the white armor or clothing, and she's ready to go find Sabine and Ezra and Thrawn and everything else. That was done really well. Now, when it comes to the Anakin stuff, listen, I think it was executed really well. Maybe you guys could help me out here. I know I sound like the guy who always knows stuff about character arcs and whatnot. I'm not sure I entirely understood the purpose of it. Like, Anakin talks about needing to live, like wanting to live, and choose live or die. And like Ahsoka was all like angry, saying like, I don't want to fight, like there's so much pain and death. And then at the end, she like fights Darkseid Anakin, and she's like, I want to live. And he's like, okay. I'm not sure I understood the message there. Like, what was her issue? That she was too pessimistic and her arc was just lighten up? Facing your fear of becoming like him? That's an interesting way of putting it. It's fan service. I want to move on from legacy characters. I'm still confused as to what the lesson Anakin taught her was. Yeah, it seemed like she viewed herself as only being a fighter, but the way she got out of the world between worlds was by winning a fight. I think it was to show him that she's an actual Jedi, so she wouldn't kill him. Ahsoka coming back from the dead, it doesn't make much sense. I don't think she was actually dead. It's like she was in like purgatory. They didn't really go to the world between worlds. I agree. I think it completed an arc for Anakin he very needed, and it was a lesson for him also. Do you think Anakin is still one of the Mortis gods? Probably not. I feel like Hera's character wasn't her. Listen, everything with Hera and Jason I love. I love when Jason was talking to Chopper, and Hera was like, what's Chopper saying? And Jason's like, Mom says to do this. I don't know. I thought that was really well done. Oh, my chat isn't even updated, guys. I do not have an updated chat. Why don't you guys tell me? I need to update this. I think it's this one. Oopsie daisy. Here we go. Updated chat. Make sure everything looks good. And then I'll do it here too. Whoop. There we go. Sorry. She learned failures of... That kid is great. Yeah, I really liked it. The Purgle stuff was awesome. I'm kind of here. I want you guys to help me explain the whole Anakin stuff. Because frankly, I'm just not sure I understand the purpose. There was clearly some sort of arc she went on. I just don't... Can you turn off the Giga Chad filter on OBS? What filter? So was Anakin real? I don't know. I don't know if it was really Anakin. It could have been. There's no indication to believe it wasn't really him. So I'm not sure I understand the arc. Like what was What was the lesson she was trying to learn? Like, speaking, like, go back. For one, I'll say this, like, young Ahsoka, of course it's jarring at first, to see younger Ahsoka, but, like, I don't know how else they could have done it. I thought it was neat, I enjoyed it. Like, they showed, like, the compassion part of Ahsoka. Here, let me go back. The compassionate part of her. And she's like, there's so much pain and death in the past. And she's like, I don't want to become a fighter. Maybe he was trying to see if Ahsoka would stop being mad at Anakin or blaming herself, something like that. Since he first fought her once, she mentioned Anakin turning evil. I don't know. It was just a cameo. Reminds me of the Jedi Temple test. It was. Young Ahsoka worked perfectly. The actress did a great job. Yeah, I really like that. She was was she the girl in Barbie, the younger girl? I like how Rex showed up. So, like, Rex was there, but we didn't actually, like, there's no, like, oh, hey, Rex. Like, at first, when they were on, I think it was Ryloth, because there was some Twi'leks in the background. At first, when there was just, like, Rex was in the background, and then when they were on the Siege of Mandalore, like, Rex was there, and then just, like, moved on. So, I thought that was funny. Yeah, I was fine with that cameo. Like, they didn't openly say Rex. Like, it could have just been any clone. Hey, bro, such a great episode. Wish we would have gotten Thrawn, though. Well, we'll get Thrawn soon enough. I can't believe I predicted this. Bro, I was waiting for Rex the whole time. Really disappointed we didn't get any Shin or Baylan. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that this really focused on Ahsoka and her arc. I'm not really sure, like, what was the arc. I need to, whenever I do my, like, video essays and whatnot, I usually take time to analyze stuff, and I'm not sure if I get it right now. Rex and the clones think they are a part of the Force Squad. The Rex voice was the live-action version of the clone voices. Yeah, it was Tamora Morrison. You could tell. Hey, any fan service was to all of us. Let's leave it at that. Be happy, enjoy it, and time to move on there. It's not so much about Anakin, right? Like, I am totally for some sort of manifestation or ghost of Anakin being there to teach Ahsoka a lesson. So I'm not criticizing, like, Anakin showing up. I thought that part was actually done well. And I really liked the flashbacks with, I think it was Ryloth here. And then they go to the Siege of Mandalore. I thought these scenes were well done. It's just, I'm not entirely clear on the purpose. No, that was Rex's armor. You could tell a lot of the stuff was shot in the volume. I think people forget how young Ahsoka actually was during the Clone Wars and even at the end. Like, she's like 17. So I was a little thrown off at first how young she looked, but I mean, it totally makes sense. Center a little bit. Does there have to be a lesson more than just educating the casuals, the relationship between this girl and Anakin? That's true, but there's a clear progression of her character between the beginning and the end of the episode. Given that her arc for the rest of the show is about her master-apprentice relationship with Sabine, I think that her being reminded of Anakin's teachings made her rethink her teaching of Sabine. Maybe before she was just, like, completely down on Sabine, and now she's, like, willing to actually help her out. Ahsoka's arc this episode felt a bit repetitive and vague with the words they were saying. I would have liked more detail in what they mean by live or die. Is it pacifism versus violence versus self-defense? Yeah, but, like, Ahsoka's still going to fight. There was no purpose but to give all of us goosebumps. It was a great way to show us how they began and how they went apart. Screamed my lungs off when I saw Rex and got in trouble. Anakin with the early Clone Wars hair looked great. Can I be a little honest, guys? Can I be honest with you guys? I'm going to get so much hate for this. I don't think Hayden Christensen's acting was all that good. I'm sorry. It was Anakin. It was Anakin. But, yeah, I'm not going to go in depth on that. But certainly interesting thought. Thought they were going somewhere with wanting a Padawan discussion, but it ended so quick. Yeah, that was interesting. Ahsoka was a lot more, even when there was flashbacks of younger Ahsoka, she was a lot more pessimistic than I remember, which makes sense. Because, I mean, this is really like adult Ahsoka and younger Ahsoka's body. Okay, but he called her Sips. Yeah, listen, I'm not criticizing, like, Anakin showing up. I want someone to help me out figure out the lesson. Because, like, there's clearly some sort of lesson there that I just don't think was properly conveyed. Like, choose live or die. And he's like, you still don't get it. Wish Ahsoka called him Sky Guy. No, that was terrible. Those Anakin... I just lost the chat. There was no point where I thought the effects in this episode looked poor at all. I thought Hayden actually looked really good here. So maybe it was just last episode and like the jarring close-up of it all. Was it a little fan servicey seeing like Ahsoka fight Anakin? I mean, there's some cool shots here. I'll give them that. It's like here we got Ahsoka versus Dark Side Anakin. I thought Anakin looked good. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was something just with the last episode, but I thought it looked really good. Don't fight because I, Anakin, taught you to be warrior, but fight so there can be tomorrow. The arc kind of starts at the end of season 6 with her leaving the Order. You get a sense, but that wasn't really, like, conveyed. Like, Anakin being on the dark side wasn't... I shouldn't say that. But, like, her guilt and whatnot wasn't really addressed. The lesson is she's more than what he taught her, and she, if not following his footsteps. That looks kind of cool. It's a good shot. Like, this is a cool shot. I know, listen, I like seeing younger Ahsoka. It is, like, tough to picture Ahsoka being younger. Or she looks so much younger than, like, her Clone Wars version, but we remember it makes sense. What I got from the lesson is, even though she's his apprentice, she won't share his fate. She can be the best parts of him and live. Interesting. So you think maybe she had fear that she would turn... That the reason she wouldn't train... like Grogu back in The Mandalorian was because she was afraid Grogu would end up like Anakin. Hayden did have his good moments, but some of his line delivery was wooden. Yeah, I don't think his acting was very good. I feel like the lesson was more the don't fight what you hate but save what you love type thing. At least that's what I got from the lesson, that she can still fight, just not in the same way. Hello there again. Welcome. Hey, Goldman, I saw the episode that hit hard. Yeah. I might be in the minority, but the set they used for the flashback screamed the volume to the point it took me out of the moment. Yeah, sure, I don't care. Ahsoka is 14 respectively, the actress is 16. So yeah, it makes sense, I know. I'm not criticizing Ahsoka looking young, it just took me out. Because like I have to remember that Ahsoka is a teenage girl during the Clone Wars. Listen, I think the effects and everything looked good. Sure, like certain scenes from the volume looked iffy. And I like how we saw the Maul DeLoreans from the Siege of Mandalore, but they don't actually bring up Maul. I don't know, that was kind of funny to me. Again, not a criticism, just a like funny observation. Oh, I like how they gave 17-year-old Ahsoka the Siege of Mandalore outfit, but they wouldn't give young Ahsoka like the tube top look that she has throughout most of the Clone Wars. Not a criticism, just a funny observation. So I thought that was pretty funny. The Goldman logo is blocking young Ahsoka. Oh well. I'll give you guys a better look. I want to look at the Mandalorians because that was really funny. That must have been so much fun to film. I kind of like the idea that Ahsoka is more than her master, kind of. I don't think that was a bad lesson for the arc to convey. I just don't think it was entirely clear. So we got young Ahsoka again. Now I want to see the swigs of Mandalore in live action. You mean the siege? I love that Jason is using the Force. Yeah, I love that too. That was awesome. Almost like Anakin / Vader didn't fight back against Palpatine and condemned himself to the life of Vader, but he's telling Ahsoka to fight and live. Interesting. I feel like part of her lesson is making peace with being a part of the complicated legacy Anakin left behind. Wish we had more flashbacks. Interesting. This was a great episode. Now we know she's more badass than what a lot of people thought. Yeah. I would say Hayden overall had a better performance in Obi-Wan than in this episode. I would agree. But I think he was better than he was in Attack of the Clones. Listen, in Attack of the Clones, he was terrible. But here we got classic... Hayden's delivery was... It was on par with his performance in the prequels, I'll say that. She looks chubby? What? What are you talking about? My reading is thus far, Ahsoka has been defined by regret and fear. The repeated live or die forces her to choose. Let her past destroy her or choose to embrace life. I actually really like that. Henry Bradley. I think that's a really good way of putting it. Maybe the lesson was that Anakin never got to tell Ahsoka she was more than just war, but saying she can still fight but live and do the right thing, not just fight for a war. I really like the interpretation of Ahsoka not being defined by the complicated legacy. Enter Ahsoka the White, who has returned and at the turn of the tide. Interesting. I really think that's a really good way of putting it. I think you guys are making me... I still think the arc could have been conveyed better, but a lot of what was explained here made sense, where Ahsoka needs to be reminded that she isn't defined by her past. And that's really a big part of her character. Here's Hera and Ahsoka. I think what a lot of people tend to forget is that prior to the Mandoverse, so prior to her return, The Mandalorian, the last we saw her, she didn't really know what Anakin became. Like, she had that one vision that Anakin was Vader, but I think she needed to see it for herself at the season 2 finale to really confirm that was him. And since then, she's had a lot of time to think about what has happened, especially with Anakin, and she feels responsible. Talking about war and how there was so much... So I guess maybe it's still like being part of the complicated legacy, that she was part of so much war, but she can't let that hold her back. I feel like for the average person outside those who consumed all the Clone Wars and Rebels, the message would be vague. Yeah, because she's already a Jedi. So is she a Jedi or not? I don't know. This is like the ongoing debate now. Is Ahsoka a Jedi? I'd like to know what the first battle was. It wasn't the Battle of Ryloth, but there were Twi'leks. I think it might have been. Like, I don't know what else it would be. Hayden is better than his when he's doing the dark side. This episode is 8.5 out of 10. Hayden, the Clone Wars sequence made this series so far. Could this series do well without it? Yeah. The message is still pretty big for me. When I saw both cartoons. Yeah, again, I saw both cartoons as well, and I thought the message was vague. But I think it's starting to make sense. The fact that it took 155 viewers, wow. Destroy the like button, people. No, I'm kidding. Well, I'm not kidding, destroy it, but I think me having to talk with you guys about that is a little bit of a reflection on the episode, that it wasn't entirely clear what they were going for. I thought young Ahsoka looked good. It is still so funny seeing her just in her younger form in live action. Like, I don't know. It's just so hard to actually picture it in live action. Now that we can, it's just weird. Not bad. It's just it takes some time to adjust. I wish Rex talked to Ahsoka. No, we didn't actually. I absolutely love the way they handled Rex. They showed him. He was there. We all recognized him. He even had a line. But it wasn't like Member Berries, where it was like, oh, here's Captain Rex. Like, if you didn't watch... I'll agree. The fact that it takes this much to explain the crux of most Star Wars plots. Wasn't a fan of the lesson she learned here. At least it could have been better communicated. Yeah, I feel that too. Love getting Ahsoka the White, though. Yeah, that was total Lord of the Rings stuff, and I liked it. I wish Ahsoka and Anakin would have talked more and fought less. They talked quite a bit. Even though I couldn't immediately tell what the arc was, it was still emotional impact to me in a good way. This episode had Willow series vibes. Also the Clone Wars vibes, Season 6 Yoda arc stuff. That was cool. Hopefully this show keeps this upward trend. Episode 3 was Episode 4 was really good. I thought Episode 4 was still better than this episode. I thought the second half of the episode was great. In the first half, I'm starting to become more fond of it. But I think it wasn't conveyed all that well. But I still like it. So I'm not too critical. Thanks for reading my comments. Love your vids. Hey, I tried. I'll read as many comments as I can. Very interesting stuff here. Hopefully the show keeps the upward momentum. Oh, I already read that. Young Ahsoka, yeah. So this was the girl from Barbie. Yeah, I thought it was perfectly cast as well. I don't know, just something about seeing like this. I know it's always been hard for me to connect live action characters to their animated part when it's not the same voice. Like with Bo-Katan, I was, because Katie Sackhoff did both. But with like Rosario Dawson, it was a distinctly different voice. So it was always hard for me to connect. I don't know, it's like kind of doing it for me. For me, it was live. Preserve life and try to solve things without violence. Death, destroy life and continue the path of violence. She chose life. But I just don't see how she was struggling with that, though. Can we address seeing Ahsoka without a headdress? Yes! Previllian. That was so funny, seeing Ahsoka without the... Because I always assumed when she didn't have the headdress on, Like, the headdress was there to kind of blur the makeup. Here. No, wrong thing. Like, seeing her, just like the forehead to the actual headdress, I guess. The Montrolls or whatever. The Laku. Yeah, this looked weird. This looked weird, but I thought it was still funny. I mean, I'm not, again, we're Star Wars fans. This is the shit we talk about. I just thought it was funny. All the men in this series are evil, weak, or traitors so far. Only weak part of the series. But maybe evil Ezra and Thrawn will redeem the men. I don't care. It's like, dude, people are people. Therapist. Ahsoka's hairline isn't real. It can't hurt you. Looks like it was photoshopped out. Maybe. It was hilarious. Yeah, this is kind of... Again, it's not a criticism. I don't know how else it would look. I was just surprised they actually did that. I don't know what else can I show. The stuff with the Pearl Girl at the end was fantastic. I have absolutely no criticisms of the stuff with the Pearl Girl. I thought that was beautiful. It's just a lot of Rebels vibes. So I totally love that. Here we got the Pearl Girl. Think of the hours she needs to spend to get this makeup on. Oh my god, yeah. There's plenty of great male characters in this. I'm not going to talk about the gender shit. It's like, grow up. You're pretty on spot with your predictions. Was I? I don't know. It's still entirely clear, like, was that Anakin talking to her? Or is it just some sort of manifestation? I was glad that they didn't do some dumb... It wasn't really the world between worlds she went to. She went to, like, just some Force Nexus place. I love the mix of Clone Wars and Rebels vibes. Yeah, me too. Hayden for the win. The algorithm suggested Hayden should be in every series now to push the female heroines. All right, dude. That May the Force be with you got me so hard. Loved Ahsoka during turning to the white attire. Hey, we got the whale, so you're right on that. I didn't really predict that. Nothing on... Oh, remember, guys, what we wrote was on the board? Let me go back here. What was on the board? Not really Anakin, dark side manifestation. That was kind of true. I think, like... I don't think it was... Thank fuck. Father, son, and daughter reference. Nope. We see the Clone Wars Season 5 ending. Nope. Ahsoka versus Vader on Malachor. Nope. No scenes. New scenes of Anakin and Ahsoka. Check. Although they weren't really new scenes. They were like reenacted scenes. Or just her like being in a younger body kind of thing. I know that was done somewhere else. I can't remember where. I'm trying to think. Like, it was done recently. Oh, it was in Legend of Korra. Never mind. That wasn't recently at all. But anyway. No Sabine / Baylan in Episode 5. I got that right. And Ahsoka uses Purgle to travel to New Galaxy. Bingo. Ding, 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 ding. That was on the board. So these three things were on the board. And this one was, like, kind of on the board. We don't know. So we're kind of right. The flashes from Anakin to Vader were crazy. I agree, Julie. Those were whack. And I like that. Ah. I had a hard time seeing this version of Ahsoka as Ahsoka. But at the end, when she was like, oh, I have no idea. There's the Ahsoka I know. Yeah, I like that. You know, it's like, that was fun. I really enjoyed that. I like that Ahsoka seems more relaxed now and less uptight post-rescue. I think that was the point. Because she held on to so much resentment. Was it Anakin's Force Ghost stepping in from the Cosmic Force? It's not clear. Maybe? I don't know. Clone Wars Season 6 type arc. That was a good way to bring back scenes from the cartoons. But it wasn't really scenes, you know? Oh, may I say, I want to go back. These scenes in the beginning when... Here. Like the scenes in the beginning of the episode where Anakin and Ahsoka were talking. And she's like, Anakin, you look the same. And he's like, you gotten old? I thought that was hilarious. I love that. Loved hearing Rex. Didn't the actress seem younger in the flashbacks than when she was in the Clone Wars? It makes sense, Brenna, because Ahsoka was 17 at the end of the Clone Wars and 14 in the beginning. And I think someone said the actress of her is 16. So it makes sense. I mean, Ahsoka is supposed to be that young. Is it weird to think that a 14-year-old girl was a general during a galactic war? Yeah, that's kind of weird, but hey, that's Star Wars. The World Between Worlds was Rebel type scene. Was it really the World Between Worlds? She didn't go anywhere. Maybe a little, but she did awesome. Can't wait for Ezra to train Jason. The animation is weird. I never realized how young Ahsoka really was during that time in the Clone Wars until this episode. Reminds me of when Rex and Ahsoka met again. Yeah. Worried that the series in the end is just going to be set up for the upcoming Filoni movie. I think part of it is. Absolutely. Young girl did a great job. I agree. You got old was definitely on par for Anakin. I like that. I really like that line. You got old. That was so hilarious. Because Ahsoka's in, her 40s now? Remember, Anakin? So it's like 40-year-old Ahsoka is talking to 22-year-old Anakin. Ow, I just got a headache. So that's kind of funny. Where's Zeb at? Yeah, we miss Zeb. It was yeah, Brenna, last episode I was convinced it was Darth Vader's lightsaber, but after it was just bad lighting, yeah. I gotta give Palpamine some props. He proved me wrong. I'm not gonna say that to him. I'm not gonna say it to him. Jason Jarrus. Oh yeah, we got a Kanan reference. And it was simple, right? The Hu Yang was like, Jason is the son of Kanan Jarrus, who was a Jedi. It's like, that's all you need to know. Anakin was a general. He never made it master. True. Jason Syndulla. Hera made sure that Jason took her last name. And anyways, Jarrus wasn't really Kanan's last name anyway. It was Doom, so. I love the translation of the Clone Wars outfits. It felt weird at first. It felt a little bulky, especially the armor, but I got over it. Let me pull that up. I thought the armor was done well. What are your thoughts on Jason being able to hear the fights? Oh, here's a good... ladies and gentlemen, we got live action Clone Wars. They swing lightsabers. It's always a white hue in the middle with a colored outline. Well, there's like a green hue on Ahsoka's and a blue hue on Anakin's. His Revenge of the Sith outfit looked weird, like it wasn't tucked in properly. I thought it looked fine. The Kanan line seemed really clunky exposition. He definitely could have been mentioned earlier in the series. Nah. I thought it was fine. God, I am sweating like a bitch in here. What else? I want to get a good shot of Anakin in his Clone Wars armor. I'm not actually going to play any clips for you because then I can get in trouble. I thought certain Anakin scenes were done well, but certain ones I just didn't think Anakin did a good job. Sue me. Do you think we will get CGI Leia in the last? Oh yeah, there was a Leia reference. Senator Organa. So Leia's a senator right now? Of what? Alderaan? Alderaan's no more. I guess Alderaan still gets representation. Maybe it's because I've been sick all day, but I got so excited during this episode that I genuinely threw up. Broccoli Boy was cool. Oh yeah. It was so good to see Clone Wars, but the visuals could have looked way incredible. Pixar mom build. Oh, Hera. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Cade gets laid. I get what you're saying. Do you think that was actually Anakin or the Force speaking to Ahsoka? I don't know, KP Bricks. I don't know. It could have been both. I guess it's up to your interpretation, which is fine. I like that. If history is to be believed, I don't think it is. Like Yoda had those visions in the Clone Wars. Kanan had that one vision where he spoke to the Grand Inquisitor when he was a temple guard. Like, was that really the Grand Inquisitor? So I don't know. Maybe she's a senator from somewhere else. Apparently there's a new Alderaan now. Maybe. Oh, a super chat. Thank you so much, Thanura Ravindra. Sorry if I got your name wrong. Need more of Captain Rex. Nice to see him finally. Yeah, that was cool. I liked how they did Rex. I was weird at first. That was going to be too fan servicey, but he was just there. Jason is a great addition to the canon. To see the way he is tuned with the Force, the way they gave us a bit of it, little by little, without being forced and on our faces, is great. Yeah. M just says open to interpretation. I would agree. I think that's the vibe I get. My interpretation is that it was not really Anakin. I think it was the Force. If you had to pick your favorite shot, what would it be? I love the shot in the War Between Worlds where Anakin and Vader switch back and forth. That was really well done. Both times. During this scene on, I assume it's Ryloth, and when they were in the War Between Worlds, that was done really well. I think my favorite shot would probably have to be her with the Purrgil. Listen, I'm more of a Rebels guy than a Clone Wars guy. So this is always going to get me a bit more, Rebels connections is always going to get me a bit more emotional than Clone Wars connections. So that's my bias. But I love both. This scene just gave me chills. All around, pure chills. Our dreams are very deeply psychological and provide a lesson from beyond. Yeah. I'm a bit confused how Anakin's Vader side was able to show up in the Force Ghost realm when Sith can't become Force Ghosts. I don't think it was a Force Ghost, Jared on TV. I think it was I think it was the Force just portraying Anakin to Ahsoka. The Purrgil low-key reminded me of Nemo. Anakin switching between him and Vader reminds me of an old scrapped scene from The Force Awakens where his Force Ghost would switch between his regular form and Vader. True, I always hated that. But this wasn't really Anakin. I do not think this was really Anakin. Did Ahsoka really need to decide not to Sith with her eyes turned red? That was actually a neat scene. Everyone talking about the Clone Wars flashbacks, but seeing the Purrgil did it for me. I'm with you, Alan Keels. I'm more of a Rebels guy, so the Purrgils really did it for me. Careful, don't say Rebels guy out loud. Listen, Rebels is my shit. I love the Clone Wars, guys. I love the Clone Wars, but like Rebels, for reasons I haven't always explained, just really means a lot to me on a personal level. So it'll be tough for me to mean more to me than Rebels does. Exactly, it wasn't a Force Ghost. It was like the cave on Dagobah. Great points. You know, the more I'm talking about it, the more I enjoyed this episode. I do still have the critique that a lot of what was conveyed didn't make much sense. I shouldn't say it didn't make much sense. It wasn't entirely well conveyed. But now that I've spoken with you guys, so thank you for helping me through this episode. But I think now that I kind of understand what I believe Dave was going for, I think it was done well. Was hoping to see Bo-Katan. Oh yeah, imagine... Dude, no, that would have been real bad if they showed like young Bo-Katan. Like they had Katie Sackhoff there, but she was de-aged to look younger. That would have threw me off. Season 6 and 7 of Clone Wars is better than Rebels. Yeah, I mean, Season 7 of Clone Wars was only really good at the end. It's not like the rest of the episodes were good, but anyway. Don Raymond, nice way to spell Ahsoka. Ahsoka defeated her hubris like Yoda did in Season 6. She realized Anakin's folly and she grew from it. Do you think they'll find Ezra and the Thrawn in the next episode? I bet you. New edition of On the Board for episode 6. On the board for episode 6. Can you guys see? You can't. On the board, Ep 6. So this is on the board for episode 6. I think we're done with Anakin for now. Maybe we'll see him again. I hope we're done. Episode 6, Ep 6, ends with first look at Thrawn. Next episode's going to be great. I'm really excited for next episode. First thing on the board. Episode 6 ends with first look at Thrawn. So the Battle of Mustafar was the false rumor. People said it was actually filmed, but then it was cut. So it's like, okay. I love that the change to her white costume wasn't made a huge deal out of too. She just pulled up with the icy fit on a new level and kept moving. Yeah. Message: war is bad and one should not revel in it. I hope we are done and we need to move on. We need to get out of our fan service. It was amazing, loved it, but time to see what's out there. I agree. Ezra appears in the last scene. I do not think Ezra is going to show up in this next episode. I think episode 7. I think we'll see Thrawn, but not Ezra yet. Yeah, that's what I heard too. Apparently, or allegedly, the Mustafar battle was filmed and deleted. That would have been cool to see. Someone out there has seen it, but we have not. Listen, I should. I'm gonna pull up one of the Anakin and Ahsoka stuff because I thought that was really well done. Anakin was always better when he was on the dark side. I just thought that's when he was better conveyed. And this shot was badass. I really like this shot. I think this is a really cool shot. Ahsoka is Gandalf confirmed. Absolutely. What do you think of the cinematography? 180 rule got broke a lot. People have a misinterpretation of the 180 rule. I'm not going to go into that right now, but we didn't. The 180 rule does not always need to be followed, and it depends on where you are too. No, please, we need Ezra back. Anakin looked cool all around. It's like here he looked good. I know it's blurry, but I don't know. I've always liked Anakin's hair in Revenge of the Sith, and like the way a lot of it was waving around, I thought was really cool. I personally think that Ezra is dead. No way. I do not think Thrawn would keep Ezra alive in this other galaxy. That would be so ballsy if they killed Ezra. I just don't think it's gonna happen. If Anakin is Gandalf, or if Ahsoka is Gandalf, does that mean Anakin is Saruman? I don't know, dude. Just watched it a little bit again. I choose to live. Chills. I still don't like that way they conveyed her arc, but I get the overall point. So what is he teaching Ahsoka exactly? 10 to A Studios. I think the point was Ahsoka has been reveling too much in her past, and she was kind of defined by it, and now she needed to kind of let go. Like, yes, Anakin turned to the dark side, and yes, war was terrible, and yes, she was a part of it, but she needs to move on. I think that was part of it. And that's what was holding her back for a lot of the episode. This is Disney. They need Ezra toys. Yeah. Like the way you phrased Ahsoka's lesson. Agree 100%. Ahsoka's guilt of Anakin failing by literally having her fight Vader is like she's fighting her guilt, and defeating him was moving on. Well, she didn't really defeat him. She chose not to, like, kill him. Like, she's ready to move on. This reminded me of the scene in Black Panther Wakanda Forever where Shuri is talking to Killmonger. Yeah, not bad. It makes me wondering that did Ahsoka fought Vader before Rebels? No way. No. I think now she knows she is his legacy, the good part of him. He lives through her. Lucas said dead characters don't sell toys, hence they brought Maul. She was stuck in the past with Sabine too, and Grogu. Yeah. Nice to have a child in live action. This is a great series. I'm really liking it so far. I still think episode 4 was much better than this episode. I'd give this episode maybe like a 7.5, 8. I thought last episode was like a 9.5. I thought the last episode was really good. No reference to Luke in this episode. They needed to focus on Ahsoka. If I was Ahsoka, I would have asked, like, what the fuck? Why'd you turn to the dark side, Anakin? But maybe Ahsoka knows. They need to introduce at least Thrawn early in the next episode. He needs some time to show why he's a threat, specifically for people who didn't watch Rebels. True. I never read the Alphabet Squadron books. The pilot was not very good, not gonna lie. I liked all the episodes. I think the 3rd episode is underrated, by the way. More Gungans. Interesting ideas. So let's move on from the Anakin stuff, because I think we've kind of covered it. I think, summarize my thoughts on the whole Anakin arc. Let me get a better image before I move on. What are you guys' thoughts on the dark side eyes Anakin? That's pretty creepy. It was pretty creepy shit. I thought it looked cool. Final thoughts on Anakin and that whole part. I think Ahsoka holds lots of guilt, and she just needs to move on. And that worrying about that is not going to do any favors. I really like the more mythical stuff about the Force. I don't really like the pure science fiction that much. As George Lucas said, Star Wars is fantasy and space opera. Yeah. There was an indirect Luke reference. Ahsoka says, "I will not fight you." Anakin says, "I've heard that before." I don't think that was a Luke reference. Yes, Luke did say that. Ahsoka said that to... Didn't Ahsoka say that to Anakin? Oh no, she said, I won't leave you, not this time. True. Oh yeah, maybe that was a Luke reference then. Yeah, looking kind of creepy. So here I think he looks good, but he also looks like older. He doesn't look young here. I think the series will end with Thrawn, Ezra, Sabine, and Ahsoka returning to the main galaxy. Dark side Anakin eyes don't match the ones in Revenge of the Sith, but rather the set in Rebels. They're different? I don't know if Obi-Wan said he wouldn't fight Anakin. I don't think he said that. TBH, I think Ahsoka should have died by now. Not realistic to power scaling. She's not that powerful. Vader is a part of Anakin. When he ignited the red lightsaber, eyes turned Sith. That was Vader IMO. That's my interpretation and looked great. Yeah. Why did they kill the only black pilot and Rhodium pilot last episode? Always the first to die. That's the trope. His right eye looks much bigger. Maybe. I love the Ahsoka Anakin stuff in this episode. Best part, love the Clone Wars flashbacks. I thought the ending was better than the beginning, but yeah. We got some cool Obi-Wan references, too. Exactly what I mean. She should have gotten dusted by now. But she's not actually fighting Anakin here, people. It's a Force vision. Also, how'd you choose your name? I got so happy when it was the Siege of Mandalore because I thought Maul would somehow be in it. Yeah. But you could see the Maul DeLorean armors, but no actual Darth Maul. Not even a name drop. All right, let's move on to the rest of the episode. So Ahsoka or Hera is about to lose her position as general in the New Republic. The New Republic sucks ass. Screw the New Republic. They're the worst. Just got finished watching Amazing. I am so excited for next week. Wish we had Obi-Wan. No, we didn't need Obi-Wan. We got Anakin. That was enough. Just like Vader was reborn as Ahsoka, or Vader was reborn as Anakin, Ahsoka was reborn in white. I think it was a little over the top, but overall it was fun. But anyway. More. And then when we saw the Purrgil at the end. At first, when she brought up the Purrgil, I was like, how is she traveling with the Purrgil? I thought they were going to, like, hook on with their tentacles to the ship, like they did with Thrawn's Star Destroyer. But then they just straight up went in the mouth. I was like, holy shit. Been a while since we got to see those Sith eyes from Anakin. We saw him, what, a year ago? A year and like 3 months ago? The New Republic is the reason why we need a New Republic. Yeah, the New Republic sucks. The ship is too small for that, I suppose. Did we ever see the... Muffin MC, did we ever see their teeth in Rebels? I remember this one shot, and it was in the first time we saw the Purrgil in Season 2, where they were biting these... I don't know what species it was. They were biting these people, like bad guys. And like I thought they had normal teeth. I don't remember them having like dune whale type teeth. More like Boo Republic. The part where Anakin shows his Sith eyes is truly when he became Heisenberg. I think Anakin looked kind of fat, not gonna lie. Yo, someone said that about young Ahsoka too. What's up with the fat shaming in this episode? Space whales. Yeah. I don't know. I think it was this whole episode was about Ahsoka's arc, and I think it could have been conveyed much better. But now that I may understand it, I think I'm a little bit on board. But so much of it still ties into the animated stuff, and I wonder how that's going to make others feel. Oh, I just looked it up. The teeth look very different in Rebels. Yeah. Hayden's still got moves. He's in good shape. I thought the change in the Purrgil tentacle charge was interesting, but I still prefer the animated version. I didn't notice a difference. The whales are a lot less purple. Were they purple in Rebels? Think we'll get a Cal Kestis cameo? No. I think we're done with cameos, to be honest. Like, I don't consider Thrawn and Ezra cameos. Like, they're going to be part of the series. The 3 to 4 episodes are completely unknown. How do you feel about that? I love that, Obsidian. I love that. Yes, Hayden was way faster than Rosario. I don't think Ahsoka was in the World Between Worlds. I think it was her fear, Anakin, Return of the Jedi, similar to Luke on Dagobah. I'd agree. It really wasn't the World Between Worlds. I mean, she didn't open any portals. She like kind of traveled through time, but that was more so just like a flashback or like a hallucination type thing. The whales in Rebel look like sperm whales. These look like humpback. Interesting way to put it. Do you think the rumor of a army of undead stormtroopers is true? I have no clue. On the topic of being fat, is it just me or did the Purgles lose weight from the last time we saw them in Rebels? I don't know. Sperm. I hope we are. We need new stuff. We need to explore what is in the new galaxy. Thank you for our fan service, much appreciated, but we need new stuff. I think we're gonna move on. I think we're done with the fan servicey type stuff. I think we're ready to move on to whatever is in this new galaxy. I don't even know if we're gonna see the New Republic in this next episode or whatever is going on with Hera. I think we're just gonna go to the new galaxy. But I love how they talk about an entire galaxy, right? And even if realistically, even if Ahsoka and Huyang were to get to this new galaxy, it's like, okay, you're still in a galaxy. It's like, what's going to say you're going to go right where Thrawn is, you know? I think we need a break from live action. No, we don't. I'm hoping the first 20 minutes of this episode and the lesson will be referenced or talked about otherwise. The fan service stuff just distracted from the main plot. Her spirit was in the World Between Worlds because she has the sister in her. What her and Anakin talked about was in real time while being outside of time. Interesting. Do the Purgles count as proof of Imperial remnants, or will the New Republic still suspend Hera? They'll probably suspend her, especially since Ahsoka's not there to vouch for her. Because that was the thing, like, who said it? Mon Mothma said Ahsoka could, like, testify for Hera that there's stuff going on. Oh, the Huyang and Jason stuff was great. Can you train me? No. Can you build a lightsaber? Yes. Can you build me a lightsaber? No. That was great. With all the cameos, it seems like Star Wars galaxies are kind of small. It's like, what cameos? We got Anakin. That's it. And I guess Rex. Oh, we saw Rex during the Clone Wars. Oh. I hope Filoni is let creatively run wild with the new galaxy. It would be amazing if it's actually noticeably different to the known galaxy. I'd agree. I'm so glad Jason wasn't annoying. Yeah, I like Jason. He's cute. He's really cute. I like Jason a lot. The Sakura cameo? No. Dude, enough with the cameos, people. There's no more cameos. I think we're done with cameos. I ship Hera and Huyang? Dude, what's wrong with you? Crap, New Republic. There is no need to explore that anymore. I think do you think we'll even see Hera and New Republic anymore? Maybe in the last episode. But I feel like the next 2 episodes are going to be all in the new galaxy. Hello, love your channel. Thank you. We need a Hondo cameo. No, we don't. Claude didn't make a cameo. Yeah, we need Claude back. Jason is going at me. At first saw him as just being Kanan's legacy, but he's been really endearing. I totally agree. Jason's been awesome. His directing was better, but I think Filoni needs to work on his writing and expressing emotions better. Do you guys need to see? Do you guys like having the background image? I don't know if you guys actually care. Or do you want to see my pretty face? This scene was cool. I'm trying to put on a new image. So we got. I love Huyang. Huyang's really growing on me. I love how he's become such a big part of the series when he was not in the Clone Wars that much and wasn't even in Rebels. Here we go. Ahsoka the White and Huyang. So Jason could become a Jedi with his high force connection on display, but will that happen since we know what happens to the Jedi in the era, or do we? I don't know. Jason could be elsewhere. The first half was solid. The second half was like filler besides the whales. Well, no, the second half was so much better. It's nice to see images fitting the talking points. Yeah, that's what I kind of like to do. Kind of freaks me out when the droids act very human-like. Yeah. Someone pointed out in the last stream that Huyang blinks. I think it's hilarious. That scene was so amazing with everything being super white and bright. It was white and bright. Maybe Jason will fall to the dark side one day. I feel like that's a setup. What if they go to the new galaxy and AP5 is there? I'll lose my mind. AP5 is the GOAT, people. We are what they grow beyond. That is the true burden of all masters. Great, great quote. X alt. I thought Ahsoka would be taught Anakin turning wasn't her fault, but she kind of fought Anakin. But she just fought Anakin. I feel like the flashbacks were kind of tainted by Anakin being too soldiery. Am I misremembering the Clone Wars? Kind of. Kind of. My friends are texting me. Some of my friends are watching the stream and they're texting me, "Oh, the gold man looks so cute." I don't know, it's making me chuckle. AP5 singing in space. AP5 singing in space was hilarious. Anyways, this is Ahsoka episode 5 review. I love AP5. Let's talk about this. You think Sabine will ever be able to pick up the Force, or will she accept that she doesn't have it in her heart? I don't know. Anakin was cracking jokes over a dead guy. Yeah, I thought it was fun. I liked Anakin in this episode. Huyang described Anakin as intense, which is probably accurate. Oh, absolutely. Anakin is totally intense. Seems every series or movie has an annoying verbal droid. That is convention now. It's Star Wars. Yeah. He slaughtered a camp of Tuskens. He certainly did. He certainly did slaughter a camp of Tuskens. So what do you guys think is going to happen in the next episode? It's hard to... I at least with going into this episode, we could speculate what was going to go on with Anakin and Ahsoka in the World Between Worlds. Here it's like, what do we guess next? We know Thrawn's going to show up. What else? Any other ideas? There's been some like leaks, but I don't really want to talk about that. What if Chopper kills Huyang? I kind of wish Hera went with Ahsoka. But I get she's got bigger issues and she has Jason with him. But yeah. Star Wars Only is trolling people on Twitter. Do you guys want to do me a favor? Do you guys want to go on Twitter right now? Look up Star Wars Only 2. I think that's his tag. And just tell him he's wrong. We got like 180 people here, 170 people. Because I think most of us enjoyed this episode. I didn't think it was a 10 out of 10 great. I'd probably give it an 8, 7.5. But Star Wars Only said it sucked. It sucked. Let's troll Star Wars Only. Do you think Baylan will survive the series? Rip Ray Stevenson? I think so. Baylan is going to have a confrontation with Thrawn. Thrawn wins. But it's like, how? Like, Thrawn is more mentally formidable? We still don't know really what Baylan wants. What's in this new galaxy? Is it the World Between Worlds? Because what Ahsoka went to wasn't really the World Between Worlds. It kind of was, but kind of wasn't. You think Huyang is going to get killed? He's too likable? No way. They don't kill droids. Rogue One's the exception. They do not kill droids. Hera going to get wrecked by the New Republic? Yeah, she's fired. But it's like, why do they matter? Why? Someone explain to me why the New Republic... Like, what rules is Hera breaking? Like, she went on a mission without the permission, okay. But it's like, did she really need... Is she in trouble because she brought 5 X-Wing pilots with her? Like, could she have just gone by herself and been okay? Maybe. If Baylan is a recast, only actor I think that can do it is Gerard Butler. Maybe. Was it weird that Hera let Jason wait there when they went looking for Sabine and Ahsoka? They didn't know if it was still dangerous. Yeah, Muffin, they had X-Wing pilots like flying all around. I'm sure they secured the area. Now, Ezra was a kid and he was doing all that, so should Jason. Hera should have gone with Ahsoka and Huyang. Ezra was like 18, 19 in the finale of Rebels. Jason's like 10. Give him a break. Episode was 8.5 out of 10 because Anakin. Why did Hera bring her son to a potentially hostile planet. Hey, Jason's got to grow up. Episode was 0 out of 10, no AP5 helping Ahsoka. Yeah, we need... Imagine if this show was this show, but instead of Huyang, it was AP5. I would love that. Thrawn is going to have Ezra surrounded with Yusalamar. I know what the Lothwolf. I know what you're talking about. Those worms that remove the Force. I hate those things. I don't know how to pronounce it. Salami bring lizards. Yeah. The only shot left from the trailers is a shot of Thrawn on the Eye of Sion ship. So could everyone else die or just be left stranded in the new galaxy? Nah. 1,000-year-old droid. What's next? A Force-sensitive droid? Hey, that's what they did in Visions. The droid that wanted to be a Jedi. Now, Baylan is going to bite the dust, but Shin will survive. I don't know. I don't like that trope. Like, do we really need to see Shin? I think Shin's kind of an overrated character. Like, I honestly think a big part of her popularity is that she's hot. And a lot of people don't even think she's that cute. So, I hope to find someone in my life who loves me like the Goldman loves AP5. I do love him. Hera bringing her son is like Qui-Gon bringing young Anakin to a war zone for experience grinding. That's a good point. Shin will most likely die. I don't know. These streams are hard to talk about because I don't know what to expect now. What other scene could I show here? Here. This is a badass shot. No, go back a little bit. I loved seeing Ahsoka on top of that ship. That was badass. Ahsoka and the Purrgil. Shin is only in the series for Sabine to kill. I don't think they're going to kill both of them. The droid from the mechanic in The Mandalorian was Force sensitive in Legends. Really? Ezra was stronger in the Force than Jason. He was a Vergence in the Force as well. That is why he was able to open the portal to the world between worlds. I suppose. Kind of. Wow, we have 200 viewers. That is awesome, guys. Destroy the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It's so hard to speculate. I think they're going to find Ezra. I think the series is going to end on a cliffhanger. I think it's going to end with Thrawn returning to the main galaxy. Season 3 of Mando sucked because Dave didn't write it. Season 3 of Mando did suck, unfortunately. I like how the whole episode didn't focus just on Anakin and Ahsoka. I'm glad that they actually did other shit too, instead of member berries the whole time. I think I'm gonna have to give this episode a rewatch. Yeah, once I end the stream, I'm definitely gonna give it a rewatch and go to bed. I want a good shot here of Anakin and Ahsoka. Here we go. I think this is a decent shot. If the whales could find Ezra and Thrawn, why did Witch and Baylan need the map? Couldn't they just do the same thing that Ahsoka did? I think... Good question. I think the bonding with animals is a light side trait. The dark side couldn't do that. And Baylan is not capable of bonding with the whales like Ezra and Ahsoka could. So I think that's why they couldn't go to the other galaxy. Hey, Buckeye Guy. Still a great episode, but I feel like Dave Filoni isn't a great live-action director. Should have been much better animated. It would have been easy to just do Anakin and Ahsoka the whole show. Glad they didn't. Yeah, me too. I didn't think they lingered and moved on. This show hasn't had filler, so I really don't think we're going to get any more of that. Baylan did already, to be fair. Baylan did what already? Lincoln Tomlinson, if you haven't watched it, I do not know why you're here. Yeah, I like that Anakin's appearance wasn't like, hey guys, look, it's Anakin, the character you all like. He actually served a purpose and didn't linger too long. I don't have Disney Plus. Oh, well, that sucks. I think I might need to change some streaming settings next time I stream next week. Oh, well. But is Ahsoka light side? She isn't a great Jedi. She's definitely on the light side. Filoni is better than Rian Johnson? Ooh, I don't know. I'm going to rewatch it. See you next week. All right, see you next week. I'll probably stay on for another 10, 15 minutes and then hop off. This was a really cool stream. I think this was a really cool episode. I want to rewatch it to confirm my thoughts, and then I'll have a more definitive opinion. Have they established the Force ghosts in the War Between Worlds, or was that like in Ahsoka's head? I think it was in Ahsoka's head, because a lot of the time, it was like the Yoda episodes in season 6 of the Clone Wars when he had those visions of like Count Dooku still being a Jedi. I don't think that was actually what we got. They won't have a full episode of filler. Just a chunk from each episode and scenes that drag for a little too long. Anime does it all the time. And Ryan's a great director, but let's not talk about Rian Johnson, people. I know he liked to. By the way, can you guys just let me know how's like the quality of the stream? Because I'm getting like notifications that it's not great. So can you guys confirm that or not? I would just appreciate it. I want to bring you guys the best content that I can. I'm sick of Force lore. I want a war. Interesting. It's perfect for me so far. Okay, I guess YouTube's being weird. Interesting. I can't wait to... Here, Anakin looks good. Here, Anakin actually looks like a little bit of an older Anakin. Stream is buffering occasionally. Interesting. Filoni did borrow a lot of Kurosawa. Hard to say too much because it's so beautiful. Yeah. If it was in her head, then Jason should have not heard that lightsabers clash. Interesting point. Interesting. I wonder if it still was in Ahsoka's head, but like other people can hear it because she was like in a Force. I try not to speculate too much about this Force stuff. Like I think when you try to put too much thought into how certain things happened, then it doesn't work. It was like a Force bubble. Can you put an image of the Mandalorians? Yeah, I'll do that. I gotta find like a good shot though. I remember there being like one really good shot, but I couldn't find that exact shot. Oh, here we go. God, I'm so good. The Mandalorians. They looked cool. I love the connectivity, even though like they didn't bring up Maul at all. I think it's the Harry Potter logic. Like, yeah, it was all in our head, but that doesn't mean it wasn't real to some extent. I think so too. Bro, so much lore, the continuity is real. My take, he felt her conflict, the battle of sorts, as manifested as lightsabers clashing. I agree. But also, could Hera actually hear it? I didn't really like that. I thought it would have just been cool if Jason could hear it. And then Hera trusted him. Like, did Hera actually hear it, or did she kind of just believe Jason? I think she did hear it. I mean, that's what the episode implies, that she heard it. So, the Mandalorians do look cool, though. I'll give them that. Didn't think I'd see the Mandalorians here. My take... Yeah, I read that. Hera is just insecure. About what? Hera heard it through Jason. That's too much connectivity. If only this had a bigger budget, the flashbacks could have been insane. But it's like, we don't need these huge action sequences with the flashbacks. Like, I get, like, we could have gone so much more, but let's stay focused. Like, we didn't really need to see a full-scale Siege of Mandalore. Yeah, sure, son, I hear it too. Exactly. What if in the next few episodes introduce a strange Force-sensitive species / extra galactic power that a roadblock forcing Ahsoka to work with the enemy? I don't know. Interesting. Twitter seems to love this episode, which is uncommon. That's usually how these episodes go. Oh, my friend texted me. Just finished the episode, that means. I'm going to text him privately. Thoughts? I know I shouldn't be texting in the middle of a stream, but hey, I do what I want. Glad there's no Order 66. Yeah, thank God. I did not want to see another Order 66 scene. I'm so done with Order 66. Like, yeah, it was cool. Let's move on. We've seen it so many times. It was so cool to see the Clone Wars Mandalorians. Yeah, it was. The Mandalorians. It's really hard to follow. No idea what those whales were. I assume you didn't watch the animated shows, which is not your fault. Like, the show should do a better job at conveying that. But, yeah. That's. I think when this series is over, that's going to be the biggest topic of debate. That this show really relied a lot on you having seen the Clone Wars and Rebels. So I think that's going to be a really interesting topic of discussion. Why was Ahsoka killing Mandos? They were bad Mandos. Order 66 scenes are a canon event? Yeah. I think we're getting a Baylan Order 66 scene. We have to. No, we don't. No, we don't. I'd rather watch Coruscant get blown up than Order 66. Yeah. Cheeseburger. Goldman, are you sure he meant the episode? I'm not sure what you mean by that question. Whether you like the series or not, Filoni makes this feel like Star Wars animated stuff. True. I don't know if that's a bad thing. I like the animated shows a lot. I like the animated shows more than the live action shows, that is. Easily. I'm still iffy on, like, Ahsoka didn't really have a reaction to Sabine's borderline betrayal. This is season 5 of Rebels, pretty much. So far, I've shown the series to my mom, and this is the only one she's been confused. So I guess you gotta watch Rebels? Kind of. It's like, yeah, how would you know that the Rebels can go into hyperspace if you haven't watched Rebels? Did I say Rebels twice? How would you know the whales could go into hyperspace if you hadn't watched Rebels? I do think the show can be confusing to people who did not see the animated shows. I think the show could have done a better job, since they are surely aware about that. True. The silhouette of Ahsoka, young Ahsoka, looked like the animated shows. I'd agree. I think that they did a good job there. Anyways, one thing I'm just glad the show has momentum. People are actively discussing what's going to happen next. There's active discourse about these episodes. We didn't have that with The Mandalorian Season 3. We kind of had that with Obi-Wan, but people weren't a big fan. We had that with Mandalorian Season 2. And Andor, it's great, but it wasn't that kind of show. So I think this is just good for Star Wars. The people are talking about it in a mostly positive way. And we're just speculating again. That's fun. That's like when it's most fun to be a Star Wars fan, you know? It was great to see live-action Clone Wars. I know people will probably tear it down, and some too. I enjoyed it. Listen, was this episode the greatest thing since sliced bread? No. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, I'd probably give it an 8. I think it was a good episode. Maybe a 7. But I'm just biased, so probably an 8. Oh, my neck hurts. All right. I am probably going to wrap up the stream and rewatch this episode and then go to bed. I'm also hungry. Maybe I'll have some popcorn. It was great to see live action Clone Wars. I already read that. All right, yeah, I'm going to wrap up the stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will be doing another one of these streams next week, and for episode 7, and for episode 8. So always stay tuned. I might next week do one big stream. For some of you who just tuned in now, I did a pre-show stream, and now I'm doing my post-show stream. I might just do one stream, and I'll react, and if you guys want to watch my reaction, go ahead. But I'll do a stream regardless, whether it's 1 or 2. Anyway, thank you everyone so much for watching another one of my videos. I really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. It's so much fun discussing these episodes with you guys. Don't forget to unite the Claude Squad, and I'll see you guys next time. Good night, or good morning if you're on the other side of the world.